Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video. This is William Dorber 12 here. It's been a while since I last recorded anything for YouTube, so I hope you've all had a good Christmas, and I hope that you're all looking forward to having a very good new year. And I just thought that I'd bring you this very quick overview of this Audi A4 that my dad's going to be driving for the next 3 months. I mean, I did a quick review on the Panamera that he had for about a week when his Cayenne was in for an extensive service. Just thought I'd give it a quick overview because people are always interested in about these things. This is a Audi A4 2-litre diesel TDI. It has an inline turbocharged diesel 4-cylinder, producing, I believe, around 150 something horsepower. Top speed of 130 miles an hour. Don't know the 0 to 60 time, but in something like this, that's not really important. Some of the main features of this car are the infotainment graphics system. This car actually has Apple Play, which is very useful. I was using that yesterday, which I'll get more into in a minute. This particular model has a keyless go. So you have the keys, you just pop it down there and you hit the engine start. Everything comes on, the whole system's online. Of course, you've got to put your foot on the brake to start it. I'm not going to start it today. You've got your air conditioning system. It's a 3-zone climate control. Both of these two sides obviously are interdependent of each other. Clicking it into sync, they're both set. Click it down. One thing I will say is none of these have any labels on them, so you don't actually know what's happening. However, they do have this touch feature, so that when you touch them, you don't actually have to click on them, and it'll tell you what they do. But unless you knew that, you wouldn't know what these did. Drive select, I'm not sure what they are. Haven't got to have a look at that yet. This is obviously to turn off the screen, then to turn it back on. You've got traction control and start-stop turned off. All of your basic radio controls. This little wheel here controls the infotainment system. It's something different to get used to, but after a while it's okay. Again, all of the buttons to control that down here. Radio controls. 2 decent sized cup holders. Got to use those as well. No cigarette lighter, you just have one of these little spaces where it would be. And moving back, you then get on to the gear selection, which is alright. I'm not so keen on these. You move it and then it comes back into position type deals. I very much like the one that's in the Cayenne back there, where it's a proper firm into position, and that's what gear it's in type deal. It's got automatic parking brake. No ratcheting one, unfortunately. This one comes fitted as standard, I believe, with sat-nav. I think this is the standard system. Runs on Google Maps. But overall, I feel, and I'm sure other people will agree, that the interior of this particular car is actually quite nice for the spec that it is. It's not a particularly high spec. It's a fleet vehicle. But I think for being a fleet vehicle, it's actually very well equipped. Quite like this rearview mirror. Instead of having a thick border on it, it gives you the whole length of the mirror on it. It's got this nice headpiece here. It's quite good. Obviously, I'm guessing they'll have more on it the higher spec you go. For example, if you had one of the sunroofs. This actually reminds me a lot of the Audi S8 type thing going on here. I would go around and walk around the car, but unfortunately it's kind of raining, so it kind of makes it a bit difficult to do it, but I'll see. Just down here, 2 USB ports. You've got yourself an aux lead. So you've got my dad's charger in there, so he can use Apple Play when he's driving around. And I have to say, this car is incredibly comfortable. Drove back with my dad and his girlfriend. His girlfriend was driving this. I was sat in the passenger seat there. We drove 5 hours or so from Wigan back down to Norfolk, and it was incredibly comfortable. No issues with it at all. Quite a good gearbox. We had it in sports mode for a while by accident, which meant that it was pretty quick. It managed to keep up with the Porsche actually. You'd think that a little turbo diesel wouldn't be able to keep up with a supercharged Porsche, but this thing kept up okay. Actually, I have to say that the steering wheel of this is remarkably similar to the one that's in the Porsche. It's got the same look to it. Doesn't have the same paddles. These are plastic, whereas in the Porsche they're a nice. I think they're cast aluminium or something like that. All the controls are fairly easy to use. Speed, consumption, range, trip computers. It's all good stuff. Oh, there you go, date and time. All easy to use. Car itself is a very, very good car. Good brakes, as I found out when I nearly hit my head off the dashboard the first time I tried to use them. Leg room in the back, it's pretty good. It's alright. Didn't really get to sit in the back, haven't sat in it that much. I mean, we only got the car yesterday. There you go, you got your third zone climate control on the back. You don't even have that in the Porsche actually. Excuse me. Yeah, it's quite nice back there. Not got the screens and stuff like in the Porsche, but it's a good thing nonetheless. So of course, like I said, it's got all of this going on. It's got all of the. So it's a good system. I quite like this Audi one. It's not touchscreen, which is a good thing and a bad thing. I think if it was touchscreen with a screen this small, you wouldn't. The vibration of the car, even though it isn't actually that heavy riding, surprisingly enough, you wouldn't be able to touch it. I know in the Porsche. Again, I keep comparing this to the Porsche, even though they're two completely different cars. But with a touchscreen, you're riding along and you can't actually touch it properly, otherwise it doesn't work. But with it, it's quite confirming. There's click next one, click next one. It's actually quite good. I quite like it. Gives you quite nice, precise, quick navigation buttons. Of course, telephone brings you into the telephone, but there isn't one connected at the moment. Click it up, sends you to the map. Sends you to the radio. Radio controls isn't actually anywhere. This doesn't control the radio. It's actually right down here, which also acts as two buttons. Window controls down here. You can lock the doors individually, which I think's quite cool. Obvious light controls. Pedals down there. Of course, this is a automatic. It's got cruise control, which is quite nice. And yeah, just a very nice interior. The front seats are actually quite good. They're almost sports bucket seats. Seats. Again, interior quality is very, very good. So let's see if we can have a quick look at the car now. Just coming out the side here, come around the front. I'd say it's a very good looking car for the spec that it is. I think Audis are actually looking alright nowadays. I think Mercedes still look nicer than Audis, but these are definitely better than Beamers. Come for the back. Again, nice body shape lines. On the back here. Two. To the back. It's got quite a nice back. Twin exhausts, surprisingly enough, even though it's a diesel, it's got a very nice exhaust note. One of those automatic tailgate type things. Got it. It isn't working, is it? There you go, that's working. So it pops it open for you. It's quite a long boot. Very, very, very good. Good for carrying lots of luggage. Spare wheel, which is nice. Don't get many of those in cars anymore. It's almost unusual now, which is the sad thing. Close the boot back down. fill a cap. Thought this might be a Blue Motion diesel, but no, it is just a diesel. Come across to here. Open the bonnet. I don't like the bonnet release system on this. Bonnet's very heavy for the first bit, and then the gas struts go and it's up. I'm guessing by the looks of things this has something to do with a pedestrian safety mechanism to why this is so difficult to lift up. And there you are, the beating heart of the engine, of course, placed in front of the front wheels, just like a lot of Audis. Meaning that if God forbid, you were ever to take this thing onto a track, it would understeer a little bit. Although it means there's weight on the wheels, so you never know. You've got your coolant line there. It's actually low, which means that probably needs to be fixed. That. Yeah, overall good engine. It's quite like these headlights actually. I like the design. Quite a bit like the Porsche ones. Nice sort of almost. Well, this is circular, almost carbon fibre design. But yep, I'm not going to take any more of your time, and hope you enjoyed this brief overview of the car. I know, unfortunately, I can't drive it because I'm not quite old enough to drive it. If I could, I would. I'd take it out on the back roads and give you guys a quick overview of how it drove. But that's all to come once I get my car in May. So hope you guys enjoyed. If you would like to subscribe, like, and leave a comment with any feedback, whether it be positive or negative. Just try not to be too mean. You know, just starting out, always looking to improve. But yep, that's me signing off. See you in the next video. Again, Merry Christmas, have a good New Year, and goodbye.